Alright, so I'm Daniel Asensio in your COMS class, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. And I'm going to do my persuasive speech on what is more convenient, renting a house, buying a house, or renting an apartment. So many young people want to buy a house in the future. Some just want a stable place to live, even when they are older. Others aren't really sure on what to pick. This is something that a lot of people think about in some point of their life, including myself. I'm a college student. Last semester I was considering with a group of 6 people renting an apartment, renting a house, and we weren't sure if all 6 of us should rent a house or we should split up into 2 groups of 3 and rent an apartment. And we were trying to figure it out, but we didn't really come to anything, so just kind of dorming again in the apartment style ones this time. But anyways, the truth is to this question is there, of course, there's no right answer. So my persuasive speech is just to give you an analysis of it, I guess. And it relies mostly on the question to you personally. Mostly relies on personal preference, lifestyle, and job sometimes. And there are pros and cons to a house versus an apartment. I'll start off with the pros to a house. There's more space and storage in a house, more freedom to decorate, versus an apartment where there's restrictions where you can't hang stuff, put drill nails, or basically just you can't really add anything. You can't paint anything in an apartment. Versus the house, you can do whatever you want because it depends if you're renting it or buying it, of course. But if you're buying it, you could paint it. If you're renting it, then probably not. And if you own the house, then there could be some tax reductions, but that's more complicated. It relies on what tax bracket you fall under. And there's more privacy in the house, of course, because you have more space. You have front yard or backyard. You could be in a backyard or separated from wherever you want to be, right? Versus an apartment where you gotta kind of deal with the neighbors around you. And a house's price can increase or decrease if you own it, but if you rent it, it doesn't really apply. But if you buy the house, and you would have to consider the market of the houses around it. If it's high risk, then it's probably more recommended if you rent an apartment. Another thing is people find it that you are more organized, I guess. 62% of homeowners give themselves an A or B when it comes to home maintenance. So they're more independent and they're more clean, I guess, because it's a whole house. So I guess they want to feel better. And the cons of a house, long-term commitment, you would have to stay there, and that wouldn't be really convenient if your job requires you to travel a lot and for you to relocate. So that's only definitive answer, I guess. If you have a job that requires a lot of travel, then you should definitely rent an apartment because you're not going to always be there unless it's more for profit wise, then of course. When it comes to a house, you would have to pay for more on the side things, including insurance, property tax, and repairs, because you would have to fix the house by yourself if something goes wrong with it. And for me, in my situation, if I would have a house, I would have to deal with more people. So there's more roommates, and I would have to, and I can't afford it by myself, so I would need roommates. So with the house, I would have to deal with more people versus an apartment. I would have to deal with half of what I would have dealt with a house. And an apartment, pros is more freedom to relocate. You can move whenever you want. If you're more of a spontaneous person, an apartment would be a definite way to go. And you don't have to really worry about maintenance in apartments. If something really bad goes wrong, you got mold or something, then apartment mostly has to handle it legally. And then apartments tend to be closer to resources, including bars, bowling alleys, whatever, anything that's considered a fun activity. Apartments tend to be closer to the places because the places want to attract those people in apartments. And a pro and a con, it depends how you see it, is apartments allow for more walking. So if you like walking But if you don't, it's a con. Recommended. Apartments are recommended for eating out. If you enjoy eating out, sporting events, exhibits, attractions, or anything like that, because you have a better like. Since you don't waste the same amount of money that you would on the house, and you have that, and then you also have you're closer to the places compared to the houses that are more like in the suburbs, I guess. So you're mostly next to like older families. The cons of an apartment are it's smaller. There's restrictions on pets, decor, and party, and you also have to put like deposits. And if you have a pet and you have to put a pet deposit, that's like. But then it kind of evens out because of the price of the house. So yeah. An apartment con is you have to deal with more noise because there's people above you, below you, left, right. So there's always gonna be a lot of noise. You're gonna hear like footsteps or something. Can get annoying. You can't play loud music, and you also have to maybe deal with loud music from other people. Then on top of that, parties would also be another thing. Like if you're a party person and you have to like be considerate of your neighbors, and then on the other hand, you would have to maybe like deal with parties. And that's and a pro and a con for both the house and the it could be a pro and a con for the house and a pro and a con for the apartments is social wise. So if you're more social, an apartment will probably be more ideal, and if you don't really like talking to people, it will be like a house, but then it can go the other way around too. So yeah, it could be a pro and a con. So that's about it. And I'm Daniel Asensio.